Hello, I'm Anna, the Yarn Randomizer, and this is episode 7 of What to Knit. In this episode, we're going to cover yarn pick number 26 from 2025, and that's this Catnappin' Indie, their colorway Goldeneye. This is their regular sock, and you can see why it's called Goldeneye. It's got these little bits of color in this really dark, like black colored skein. And we'll take a look at how that knits up here in a moment. But yeah, so we've got to figure out what I want to do with this sock set, these two. And so let's get a look onto Ravelry. And of course, first thing I'm going to do is look at what it is, but I don't think I need, yeah, okay, let's just get right to it. So let's look up the yarn. So let's look at my stash. And they have the word indie in the yarn name, so there it is. So yeah, Catnappin' Indie Yarn, regular sock in the color Golden Eyes. Now, the nice thing again about Ravelry, if other people have their stashes entered and everything, is you can come in here, take a look at who else has it stashed. That's one part of it. But now let's take a look at projects. So when you're looking at a stash entry, you can come up here to projects and look at what people have made out of this yarn. So it looks like only one person has a pair of socks made out of this. Let's look at this picture. And so yeah, so you see how the little bits of gold in the black skein kind of pop out every so often. And that's actually a little more often than I would have expected. And so if we use the sock set the way it's intended, we can use the gold for the heel, toes, and cuffs, and the main part of the sock using that black with the golden specks. That's what we'd expect to see. But I'm kind of not sure if I want to do that. So let's go back to the entry. So we've got, so it says here 430 yards, but I don't think that counts the mini. And so let's take a look. But let's start with a 430 yard project. So let's take a look at patterns. Now let's do an advanced search. And let's take a look at, let's limit it to, where are the yarn? Okay. Sometimes these things get in a different order. There we go. Fingering and light fingering. And let's put a maximum of 430 yards. 430, apply. All right, and instead of best match, let's start with most projects. And I'm going to guess the Hermione, very predictable, the Hermione Everyday Socks, the Musselburgh, the Sockhead Slouch Hat, and then a variety of other socks that you see a lot of people do, and some very common shawls as well here and everything. And so yeah, I think the one problem with this really dark colored yarn, it is so dark, I do not think it's going to show texture patterns very well. I think the main thing is you want to be able to show off these pops of color here. And so I'm thinking about, I could do just my favorite plain vanilla socks. Again, I don't think I'm interested in texture. The socks, even though they're not plain vanilla socks, I'll look it up right now. It's the Ringwood socks. This is my favorite sock pattern. I like the sock pattern from Tess Young because it's got a heel flap and gusset. I tend to like that better, either like that or a Flegel heel rather than a regular short row heel. I feel like I don't get enough space in the instep with a short row heel. And then the thing I like about this pattern is you get this pattern and you get both directions. You get toe up instructions and you get cuff down instructions. It's got a great texture in the pattern. I've knit plenty of socks, as you can see on my list on the right, with this texture. Let me at least show you this. For example, one pair here. This was this really nice Fleece Artist organic cottage socks in purple haze, and you can see how lovely this texture works up here. It was just really nice and everything. So it's really good, I think, for a variegated yarn, and it shows up nice in solids as well. But I also use it if I just want to knit a pair of plain vanilla socks. I actually use this pattern just without the texture pattern in it. And one of the things I really like in this pattern is they have a great way of dealing with the where the upper part of the heel flap, when the gusset goes away, a lot of times people have trouble with a gappy stitch there. And this pattern has a really nice method for avoiding that. And so I really like to use it. And I'll often incorporate that same approach that they do in this pattern in other heel flap toe up patterns as well. So yeah, so this, if I was going to do socks with this yarn, it would be with this sock pattern and just knit it plain. So now we'll come back to this listing. I don't know why, but I'm just not feeling it for socks with this. And so I've got to make a decision on what I want to do. And yeah, I think I want to use the color. Well, I want to use the mini with it. But yeah, I'm really kind of in a mixed place on this, but I do have a slightly different idea. So there's lots of socks. I don't know about this being used in a shawl. And again, I don't think it shows off texture well and everything. So what I'm going to do is think about the possibility of using this double-stranded. And that is use it as a DK yarn. So I'm going to come down here and flip this over to DK, and I'm going to put, for my maximum yardage, I'm going to edit that and put in 215 instead. Let's take a look at that. So now we're thinking DK, and I've got the most projects here. There's everybody's favorite, the Sophie scarf. Well, maybe not everybody's favorite. There's a few other kind of nice hats here. Take a look. Scrunchable scarf. Now, what I want to take a look at, knitted knockers. I won't be knitting a pair of knitted knockers out of this. Face cloth, no. Let's see. And again, I do not think this will be a good candidate for a pattern. It's really supposed to show off texture. And again, I think I've said this before, I will never be making a bralette. So let's see. So that's that. So let's take a look at what is hot right now. So the Kintra, well, obviously I've got other schemes around this Kintra hot water bottle here. And I'll talk about that actually in episode 63 of the Yarn Randomizer. But yeah, so looking through these, and again, I see some nice hats here, and let's see, I'm still kind of looking through. I like those. I like ear flap hats. Actually, my favorite ear flap hat like this one's DK, but my favorite is the 1898 hat that uses worsted. That's a really nice one. So Yeah, I noticed this Highline hat coming out recently as well. Let's go to page 2. Riptide Scarflet. They've just updated this pattern so that you can have it be pointy instead of having a squared off end. I was fine with the squared off end, but yeah, you can do it either way now. And that's a really nice pattern to do, but I still think the dark and this texture at the edges would not be a great combination. Let's see there, and I know, and so yeah, confessions to be made. I'm hesitating at what I'm looking at because I do kind of have a pattern in mind that I might like to make, and I was thinking it would show up in this listing somewhere, but what's hot right now is not favoring me. Actually, let's see, that little knit pouch is really cute, actually. But also, I'm kind of intrigued by this one. Again, I don't think this would work great for this yarn. Let me take a look at this really quick out of curiosity. I really like that um, texture at the edge there. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm going to save that in my favorites. I'm curious about that twilly. Yeah, that looks really cool. When did this come out? It just came out recently. Okay. And interesting, 25 projects. All right. I'll just keep that one sitting there. Now let's take a look. Next page. See if I can find the pattern that's kind of nagging at the back of my mind here. I'm still not seeing it. It's a very specific hat pattern. If I can't find it here, we'll take a look and look at my favorites. So let's limit this. There's a lot of options here. That's a pretty funny one too. The stare hat. That's kind of cute. All right. So now let's take a look. I can limit to kind of what's in my library or in my favorites. So right now I'm going to pick what's in my favorites and see what we're looking at in this situation. Okay, there's the Riptide. Yeah, the Sophie Scarf Twilly, which I just added. Mountaintop wrap. I love these little pouches. They're nice. Actually, that might be a kind of fun pattern to do. This one, so I look at this pattern and go like, why is that showing up here at this yardage? So let's just humor me out of curiosity. Let's take a look at this really quick. So yeah, see this? This yardage is listed as 1 to 2 yards. And when was this added in? In 2021. So, I mean, this is a really nice pattern. I like it. I like the look of it and everything, but why in the world is it listed as 1 to 2 yards? If you put any kind of reasonable yardage range for a top, this will not come up. Odd. Oh well. Always curious about what's going on in this kind of circumstance, but let's get back to the matter at hand. So, yeah, I don't need to make another dog sweater for Odo. I get to show off the one I just finished for him in the next episode. This one, this Velamo, hopping over here, I've been curious. I think this one's really neat too. Actually, let me bring this up. This is a neat little scarf. Love that edge. And it's in Finnish and Swedish. It's free. I suppose I could use a translator and stuff, but that looks like fun. All right. So now let's come back to the search. Now, I think what in particular I had in mind as a possibility was this teeny weeny beanie. So my youngest son is 26 this year, and it's like I hesitate to talk about this. Different from his 2 older brothers, he has gone bald at a young age. So somehow he got the short stick on the genetics and everything. So he tends to like to wear knit caps. And I feel like this is a really neat beanie. I've seen Michael from Piece for Piece Crafting wear some versions of this, and I think this is what I'd like to do, and it'd be interesting to see how this yarn knits up. Now, I might use the golden color for the beginning part for the brim. It's a triple fold brim, and then use the black with the splotches in it for the rest of it, possibly. But I really think that this is what I want to do with it. So let's see. So yeah, so I think this is it. So these are some really, really cool looking implementations. Let's see if we can take a closer look, like you can see on the back side of the head there. Yeah, it's just, I think, a triple folded brim with the garter stitch with the kind of lines that go up. It's just got some neat detail there. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, and so the benefit of doing this pattern is, for one thing, it'll knit up quicker. I'll be able to finish it as a Christmas gift for my youngest son and get that out there and everything. So that's definitely what I'm going to do with this skein of yarn. And we'll see how it ends up looking with this used double with the little splotches of color that it has going on in it. So yeah, so that's it. That's what I'm going to do with this yarn. And so yeah, so we'll see how that turns out. You can check out probably the episode 64 will have this as a finished object in it, because this will definitely knit up very quickly. But yeah, so that's it for me now. And so I hope you found this kind of interesting and useful. And so yeah, I'll see you at the next episode. And in the meantime, enjoy your knits.